Swerve Strickland addresses the AEW All Out main event criticism, plus WWE pull TNA stars from tonight's NXT, and we have an update on a returning Raw star. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. So Saturday saw All Out and an unsanctioned steel cage match between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page, and oh my god, what's he doing to his face?
Absolutely fantastic scenes.
Just unbelievable main event.
One man broke into another man's house. The other man then burned down the childhood home of the other man. What did we expect to happen? It had to be bad. It had to be brutal.
It had to
Let's
go. Let's go. Now, there are a lot of people that enjoyed the carnage, the chaos, and just how deep and dark this match went. But there have been some people that have been very critical of the match as well. I've seen even one person trying to start a petition to get AEW taken off television.
So pathetic.
Which seems a bit
Get a
silly.
life, you sad, pathetic freak. And I've spelled freak there with a TH. That's how angry I am about that.
That's how angry he is.
Freak.
But you know, but there is obviously enough out there in terms of critique that Swerve Strickland felt the need to address it online.
Yeah, he shared some photos on Twitter, so he did some lovely family photographs with the caption, unsanctioned. What did you expect? Go where others won't go. Which is the point. AEW is the alternative. The alternative, by and large, means you see things you might not see elsewhere. And that includes stuff like syringes and cinder blocks and things that fit that particular feud. It's not happening up and down the card, is it?
No, it's one of those. I can see from both aspects of it. I can see, because a lot of the stuff that we saw in that match tends to be things that you would see during sort of smaller indie deathmatch events. Certainly things that I've called commentary for shows that come out of Yorkshire and out of Leeds, for a wonderful company called Rise, and that is certainly stuff that they do there. They do it very well. They do it very professionally, as did AEW. But you see a lot of places doing that. It's not something that you'd see in the mainstream, and I think a lot of people have gone, well, this is why I don't like it, because
and that's fair enough. Don't watch,
and that's it, and that's it. And I see it from that perspective. I see it as well from the other side when going, as you said, Ross, this is an alternative. So therefore, you have to offer something that is very different to other things.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what it is. You're not. I don't think you're going to see that same guttural violence in the upcoming Hell in a Cell match with Punk and Drew. I think they'll push it within that parameter, but I don't think we'll see the stuff that we saw in that match in the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if they did though?
I mean, it's the steel cage match, the unsanctioned steel cage match, headlined All Out, which is an event that also saw Chris Statlander taking a Lady Garden first bump into thumbtacks, and saw Bryan Danielson choked out with a plastic bag.
Come on!
It was. I've seen people. Do you remember last summer at the cinema, and you had those two very polarizing movies that caught people's eye? I've seen people online saying that All In was Barbie, All Out was Oppenheimer, and it's so different to what it was. And there's a few people that have said that that is the kind of All Out is the kind of AEW they want to see. And as you say, the wonderful thing about wrestling is there is a wonderful variety of everything.
Yeah.
And if that's not your vibe, then other things will be your vibe too.
Obviously, I understand if you're watching AEW not expecting something of that ilk to happen and then going, ooh, that's a bit too much for me. If you're tapping out there, that's fair enough. But looking at how the feud was going, yeah, when you watch wrestling for a few years, you're expecting something like that to happen.
It has to, because it's like, you broke into my home where my newborn child was, and then I burned your home down to the ground, your childhood home.
tie-up.
Yeah, so therefore I'm going to pin you for 3 seconds and put you in a headlock. It's never going to go that way. Never going to go that way. Over to the WWE side of things, we've got a change to tonight's planned NXT, haven't we?
Yeah, the Rascals have been pulled from their match tonight with the brilliant, wonderful Ava making a big announcement.
She's so great.
She's so brilliant. She could be American president this time.
Oh my god!
But yeah, they were meant to be taking on the new NXT tag team champions, Fraxium, Nathan Fraser and Axiom, but they've been replaced by some little-known rinky-dink tag team. Tom,
somewhat conspicuous circumstances have led to Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz being removed from the match. We don't know any more about that other than that.
Lee stinks of wee, and he is a moron. That's my song for Wesley. Taken from Lee Mack.
Well, Wesley flavoured shenanigans, potentially, or something else, have led to the Rascals being pulled and the Street Profits, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, stepping in tonight to face Fraxium.
There's also a very good chance that the Rascals have got stuck at the top of their weed-smoking tree. They like to have a tree house in this tree, and they smoke the weed and cut promos where they speak like this for no good reason. And there's a good chance they've had one too many bifters and can't appear tonight on NXT.
I have over-bifted Ava. I know how brilliant you are as GM, and I'm sure you'll sort it. And believe it or not, she has. So, I mean, that's a lovely gift anyway. Fraxium versus Street Profits.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Fantastic.
I hope we do get Rascals Fraxium at some point, though.
Oh, it will do, obviously.
Because that'll be a banger as well.
Just depends what Wesley's done to them. You assume it's Wesley after Wesley got, turned on by them at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, they might shed some light on it tonight on NXT. We will see. Meanwhile, a former NXT star, a Raw talent, Kiana James, according to PW Insider, done for the rest of the year, sidelined with a leg injury that's going to keep her out of action upwards of 6 months. Now moved off the active roster. This has been corroborated by Fightful Select. And now on the miscellaneous section, meaning that she's taken out of all upcoming storyline plans.
Yeah, she was taken off she was drafted to Raw, I should say, as part of the big old draft earlier this year. And she was sort of lost in the shuffle straight away. She had a sort of like bubbling storyline where she was looking like she was sort of becoming Adam Pearce's assistant, always looking for advice from him. And then that went pretty much nowhere. And now we find ourselves here. So obviously wishing her all the best in her recovery and all that sort of thing, because she is a talented son of a gun.
She really, really is. And from that to a wrestler who looks like they are on the verge of a comeback now. PW Insider giving us an update on Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, the word backstage with there has been pitches for Raquel Rodriguez's return bouncing around.
There they go. Here they come back. And there goes another one. She can be a dentist. She can be a bin man. she can feud with Triple H.
Obviously, a lot that we say in those news videos, Tom, that it writes itself. So if it is writing itself, the return of Raquel Rodriguez, what are you writing down on that bouncing ball thrown around the room?
I do believe, because there's a little bit of history, a little bit of l'histoire with Raquel Rodriguez, with Liv Morgan, and with Rhea Ripley. All three are entwined because you've got Liv and Rhea as former tag champs, Liv and Raquel as former tag champs, Raquel and Rhea, former opponents in NXT. In fact, Raquel, one of the very few people to pin Rhea Ripley in NXT, and even still to this day, it's something that she holds up quite well. I think there's some fun in putting it into that mix, possibly realigning with Liv Morgan, becoming sort of like a heavy for Liv.
Big Mommy Cool.
Yeah, we get the Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan match, and it's Raquel Rodriguez coming out to make the save to keep the belt around Liv Morgan.
Yeah, or get a match where it's Rhea versus Liv. Rhea is like the Rock. Liv is like Triple H, and Big Mommy Cool is like Undertaker at Judgment Day 2000.
Oh, nice!
No Kid Rock to be heard, obviously.
She's here. Oh, that Judgment Day 2000 Iron Man match. Yeah. Oh, what a dream! What a great match that was.
Give her a motorbike, let's go. That's the main thing when Raquel Rodriguez does return. We need more character than just, I'm smiley, muscular back.
Look at my muscular back.
Yeah, Big Mommy Cool, motorcycles, that kind of thing. It writes itself. We saw it in NXT. It worked.
Chuck Palumbo's not doing anything with his bike anymore. Get Chucky Palumbo's bike. Speaking of Chuck Palumbo, I've mentioned this over the weekend. I had a lovely conversation with one of Chuck Palumbo's former stablemates, Mark Jindrak.
Dun 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 dun. That's a Natural Born Thrillers theme from back in the day.
That is indeed their theme. Now going as Marco Corleone in AAA as he turned up at Triple Mania, former CMLL champion. He became a star in Mexico, a huge name in Mexico. He was going to red carpet events. He was a soap star, a TV star. He had his own cologne.
Really?
In Mexico.
Whoa.
He did. He's written books in Mexico. He's a big name. So I thought everyone kind of has this idea of what Mark Jindrak is. But nobody really in our sort of hemisphere knows what Marco Corleone's all about. So we talked about it for about an hour. And you can listen to it right now on the podcast feed. And if you're a Patreon, as a thank you for supporting us on Patreon, there's a video version waiting for you there as well. He's a lovely guy.
You didn't ask about the evolution thing, did you?
No, we brushed on it. But like,
Benny's sick of talking about that.
But here's the thing. What I discovered from talking to him, right? Like he was in Mexico. He was winning titles. He was in major headline feuds. He was going out partying partying till the early hours of the morning on red carpet events. He had his pick of the women. He was a superstar, flown places by a helicopter. He was more Evolution than any of Evolution were. And we talk all about it. It's on the podcast feed. It's waiting for you right now. It's incredible. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.